Well, folks, good day to you one and you all, and this is where we are. It's going to be Daytona Road Circuit, and it is the last round, round number 6 of season number 5 of Next Gen Racing, and this is the last round that you're going to be going into now. Good evening to everybody. My name is Gary Fleming. I'll be with you, Mike Side, for the duration of tonight's race. Alan McCain and Martin Hobson on the front row of the grid. Nick the Sharkman Clemens alongside him, Stuart Wyness, Gazza Williams from Benjamin McCluskey, and that is how they are going to be coming off the line. They are good to go, and the lights go off, and it was Martin Hobson that got it all completely sideways as he came off the line. It was just a little bit too quick there on the gas, and down into turn number 1 they go. You can see Hobson dives back in there. That is the green car. There's Phil McDougall in that 12th position that went out wide and then came back in again just to make sure that he makes up that position without any problems. Through turn number 2 they go. So it's Alan McCain, the man that started in P1 pole position. In there behind him, the Sharkman, Nick Clemens, Kieran Swart. Numerous races he has won so far this season is Kieran Swart from Stuart Wyness. That's the blue with the green that you see in there. Martin Hobson right in there behind him. Well, that actually shows, Stuart Wyness, that's in 4th position. That's Stuart over there. And then Martin Hobson, the man that got it a little bit sideways, coming off the line out into the oval they go. That's Martin Hobson in that 4th position. A little bit of a gap back to Gareth Gazza Williams. Stefan Wessels in his normal next-gen colours. They work their way down that long straight, hard onto the brakes, into the complex of corners. They go out the other side. That's all gold class runners that you see. In there behind him is Benji M. Benjamin McCluskey is looking pretty good as well, I must say, Benjamin McCluskey. But you know Benji's going to be in there and doing it all right. There's no doubt about it. When Benjamin McCluskey is on song, it is very difficult to beat Benji M. Then the first of the silver class cars, that is Ben Altria. Wow, well done, Ben Altria, at the end of the first lap. There's no pit stops yet. Let's just take that away there. And look at the gaps between them. Oh, so small. Kieran Smart has gone to the front end of the pack. There's been a lot of bits and pieces that have happened. How did Kieran Smart get to the front? Let's have a look. Oh, look how close they are to one another. The Sharkman's right in there. Stuart Wyness. That's the replay of how it happened. And, well, he just went right around the outside. Stuart Wyness trying to come through there as well. So Kieran Smart doing a lovely job of that one. Back to the front end of the field. And there is Kieran Smart. That leads him out. Kieran Smart from Stuart Wyness, as they work their way back up and onto the oval again. Well, I tell you what, this is going to be a long, hard race. If you really think about it, 2 hours of action. Alan McCain in there behind that. Then it's the Sharkman, Nick Clemens, Martin Hobson. Oh, here comes Stefan Wessels. Stefan Wessels sticks it up on the inside. He goes past Gazza. So Gazza drops one down. There's Gazza in the next gen Porsche colours, the 2 Porsches. Look at that beautiful looking motor cars. And who's behind them? Benji M. Benjamin McCluskey is in the house. Gazza and Wessels have just changed positions. Let's have a look at that one. That was Stefan Wessels. That's how they came through. Used up the slipstream. Can't get any closer than that. Dives out of the slipstream. Doesn't manage to make that one stick. That's literally how close they were at that stage of the fight. And well, Ben Altria is going to have a look up as well. Up on that inside line now is Benjamin McCluskey. Gazza on the outside line. They're fighting for that position. Just behind them, there is another battle. That is Ian Manners and James Smaggersgale. The first of the Audis, or the second of the Audis in there. Ben Altria is in fact the leading Audi that's in there. So who is leading the silver class? It's Ben Gt3. Oopsie, off the circuit. In the background there, that was James Smaggersgale that went off, I think. Let's just check. Yep, just too loud on the gas. It got all out of shape with that Audi, and then he got it back on circuit again. So that is going to be the leading group that you see there in the silver class. As such, it's Ben Gt3 with Sean Skitter in there behind him. Well done, Shawnee Sean. He's doing a lovely job. Is Sean Skitter. Then Alan McCain is in the gold class. The next man behind that in the silver class is Ian Manners. Then behind him is Phil McDougall, also in the silver class. So let's have a look what is happening with the bronze class, and that is Alejandro Ulati. You can't miss the color of that motor car, no doubt about it. He's the fourth of the Audis out there, and there's a big gap behind him and James Smaggersgale's just gone past him. Remember, James Smaggersgale is silver class. Alejandro Ulati is the bronze class. Oopsie, there's a spin. That's James Smaggersgale that just got past. Let's see how that one plays itself out with the Audi RS8. Comes in. That looks all pretty decent. Oh, he just gets away from him. The RSR Audi just turns itself around. He was hard on the brakes, and then he tried to get it go. I think that's a bit upset. I think he's a little irritated with that one. Let's go back to the front end of the field. 2 hours of action, 6 hours in, and 6 laps into the 2 hours. We're on lap number 4. That is Kieran Smart that leads them out, and going through with him is Stuart Wyness. Is getting better and better as the season goes on. Never count Stuart Wyness out anymore. He started way up, but well, he's held onto it as they go down in towards the complex. Hard on the brakes, turn it in nice and smooth, not too hard. Use that curbstone and back out again. So Kieran Smart from Stuart Wyness just behind him. Let's go a little bit closer. We can see them nice. And Martin Hobson's done pretty well. He's 2 seconds further back, but so far so good for Martin Hobson. Directly behind him, the shark man, Nick Cleburns, Stefan Wessels, and he brings with him 2 quickies. That in Gareth Gaza Williams, and in there behind, oh, he's actually past Wessels, but he's on the wrong side of the circuit because the next corner is going to be a left-hander. So that's going to play into the hands of Wessels. There goes Wessels, goes in ahead of them. Then it's Gaza, and then a Benji M with a sister car. But they've got Ben Gt3 in the silver class and the leading Audi that is right there with him. So Ben Gt3 is on a flyer. I mean, he's got the 3 big hitters, Gaza, Benji, and Stefan, that's just in front of him, the 3 gold class big hitters, and he's pushing them. Can you believe it? Sean Skitter, 2nd overall in Class B. A nice little ride there by Sean Skitter, the South African. He's carrying the South African flag pretty high. Ian Manners in there behind that, also in the silver class. Well, with what's happened now a little bit further back, David Favo now finds himself at the front end of the pack, and let's just see how that played itself out. David Favo. Well, it looks like somebody went off in front of him because, yep, there we go. There we go. The car that was in front of him that went off gets back onto the circuit again, and that is Phil McDougall that went off. Phil McDougall did make the passing maneuver, then went off, and that is what cost him pretty badly. So Ben Gt3 leads out in the silver cross. Just behind that is Sean Skitter. Then it's Ian Manners. Then the next silver class is a long way further back in 16th position, having gone, I was just going to say having gone off, and now goes off again. Phil McDougall not having a good time. He takes it back to the pits. He's not happy with that one. Alan McCain and Phil McDougall are both into the pits. Let's have a look at the front end of the field. It's Kieran Swart. But the man that is really driving up a storm today is Stuart Wyness, and he has got the best lap time so far. Stuart Wyness, a 1:44.726. Well, that's only 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Kieran Smart, but you add a whole lot of 5 thousandths together, you get a car length, and you get 2 car lengths, and you get 3 car lengths, and you get a checkered flag at the end of 2 hours, as opposed to coming through second and third, etc., etc. Remember the South African hero, Cyril van der Merwe, the most well-known international motorsport racer from South Africa, Cyril van der Merwe. He says there's only 2 positions. There's the winner and there's the runners-up. There is nothing else. That was the way that he saw it, Cyril van der Merwe. So as far as he's concerned, there is a Kieran Swart. There is nothing else behind that. It's Kieran Swart, but we know that it is Stuart Wyness directly behind him. That's right on board with him. So I see Adam McCain and Phil McDougall have both called it a day. They're into the pits. They're standing for an extended period of time. I somehow don't think that they're going to come out again. Riding on board with Stuart Wyness as they work their way around the banked circuit. And nice and neatly working their way around. Smooth as they go. Remember, this production brought to you by Second Gear Productions, Gary Gazza Fleming. Not Gareth Gazza Williams, Gazza Fleming. The Scat Man is in the house with you and bringing you today's production of round number 6, season number 5, GT3 Nxtgen, and that from the Daytona Road circuit. Riding on board with Stuart Wyness. He's got the fastest lap so far, a 1:44.726, 5 thousandths quicker than the man that's in front of him. But we know that Kieran Smart can take pressure. There's no doubt about it. That man can take a whole bunch of pressure, and there is no problem. He'll do it for an hour if he needs to. He has no hassles with that. He'll just keep on trucking. So the two of them 0.7 apart from one another. Let's go and have a look a little bit further back. Martin Hobson, very nice Martin Hobson in the BMW. So we've got a Porsche, then 2 BMWs, then 3 Porsches, an Audi, another 3 Porsches, which covers the first 3 in the silver class as well. Then David Farbo, the leading Ferrari out there, and he finds himself ahead of a BMW of Nigel Stock. Then Mark Sykes, also in a Ferrari. Alwyn Sykes, also in a Ferrari as well. So let's go to the front end of the silver class. Ben Altria, 6 positions up in the he's all on the back of Benji. Can you believe it? I don't know what's going on. This silver class driver is driving out of his skin. Ben Altria, his best showing all season, and that happening in the last race of the season, and he's all over the back end of the big hitters. Benji M. Gazza just in front of him, and he's ahead of Stefan Wessels as well. So did Stefan Wessels have an off? He must have. Something must have gone wrong for Ben Altria to have got past him. Let's have a look, see what happened with that one. No, nothing went wrong. He just drove up on the inside. Maybe Stefan Wessels thought, hey, this guy's a little bit over keen. He's going to end up taking me out. Let me rather let him go and fight with Benji M and Gazza. I'll just follow through. We've got 2 hours, and I don't think he wanted to be under pressure from a man that's on a high. Ben Altria, let's ride on board with Ben. This is what it looks like riding on board with him out onto the Daytona. Banked oval they go. Just listen to those revs. Ben Altria leading the silver class, representing UK and Ireland. The full-time motorsport 504 pro class racer. I'm going to keep quiet. Just listen to these gear changes in this hard braking. Watch this one. You hear that, how he played with the accelerator? Just nibble, nibble, and then ease it in again as you come out the other side. A lovely piece of driving. Ben Altria, man on the move right now as he's holding on to the big guns. Right in front of him, Benjamin McCluskey. Just in front of that is Gaza. Let's look back from Gaza. What does he see behind him? As if that's not enough, Benji M. And then as Benji M comes into the corner, you will then see Ben Altria behind him. Well, Ben Altria is so close to him, you can't even see Ben Altria at this stage of the fight. Let's have a look at them from upstairs. That's what it looks like. The two sister cars, one behind the other, Gaza and Benjamin. Behind that is Ben Altria. A bit of a gap back to Stefan Wessels. Is he battling to hold the pace with them? Or is he just playing safe at this stage of the fight? And it's like, I don't want to get involved with that fight. Just now something goes wrong. I think he's battling to stay the pace, because look how far he's actually fallen off. 1.1 seconds off the back is Stefan Wessels. And then Stefan Wessels has got Sean Schutter in behind him. Now that is the second of the silver class guys. Two sister cars, that being Stefan Wessels and Sean Schutter, both South African. And well, Stefan's not having it all his own way. Not at all. What's happening with the bronze class? Nigel Stock. Nige is having a drive of his life. Nigel Stock ahead, and Mark Sykes up into second position as well. So 1 times BMW times 1 times Ferrari. Let's go on board with Mark Sykes. Can't get much closer than that. He's going to try and maybe have a look around on the outside. Yep, he's going to have a look. Will he do the classic cutback? I don't believe you're going to be able to do a cutback there. Not enough space. Well, he's got the windscreen wiper. I think he wanted to flash the headlights, hit the wrong button, and started windscreen wiper going. But Mark Sykes, Marky Marks, all over the back of Nigel Stock. Last week we saw him in the Proto Series with a pink car. Now he's got the usual yellow and black. Riding on board with Mark Sykes. Nigel Stock stays ahead as they go through that tight right-hander. Now there's quite a long run, flat foot all the way through this left-hand corner. Let's have a look at the track map. That is what the track looks like. Exactly like that. And there you can see where they are. That 11 with the green around it, that is working all the way around on that outside line as they work their way on the banked circuit. A big thanks to all our season sponsors. You'll see them there in the right-hand top corner. Let's go back to Kieran Smart. Oh, Stuart Wyness. A couple of people really coming on strong. Douglas Motorsport, one of our series sponsors. Benji Sim Photos. Kieran Smart with Stuart Wyness, the man that's still got the fastest lap time so far. Mark Sykes Designs. So if you look back from Stuart Wyness, well, they're busy driving away from everybody else. Choice Designs with us as well. So they've got a fair gap back to Martin Hobson. The Sharkman, Nick Clibbins, Higgins Automotive is right with us as well. What a drive by Ben Altria. We've got to ride on board with him. It just wouldn't be the same if we didn't. That's what he sees in front of him. Benji M, Benjamin McCluskey. The sister car of Benjamin McCluskey, Gareth Gaza Williams. Then the Sharkman, Nick Clibbins. That's the white back section that you can see. And then Martin Hobson, the black with the orange. That's the one that's right in front. That is how the whole thing plays itself out right now. 2-hour race. We're 19 minutes into it. 11 laps, that's done. Ben Altria, the man that we're riding on board with, the leading Audi out there. He's lying in 7th overall, first in class. The next of the Audis is down in 16th position. That's James Smagasgale and Alejandro Alati. That's down in 17th. So he is keeping Audi's name very high. Top 7 high, in fact. Keep an eye on that battle right at the front of this group. Oof. Late on the brakes and just dives it in. A little bit of oversteer. Although he made up that amount of ground going into the corner, he lost the same amount going out. So they are all pretty much racked, packed and stacked at this stage of the fight. And that all behind Martin Hobson. That's what Martin sees in front of him. The problem is what he sees behind him is that. The Maginot Line. Nick the Sharkman Clemens. Kessa Williams. Benjamin McCliskey. Out onto the bank main they go. Gaza in there behind that of Nick Clemens. A lovely drive by Martin Hobson. Probably his best race so far of the season for Martin Hobson. I haven't seen him ever do this kind of thing before. Let's have a look at the gains and losses, how they've played themselves out so far. Kieran Smart, as always, works his way through the pack. 6 positions up. Stuart Wyness, 2 up and holding sway to within a second. Let's just have a look, see where are they further forward. There's the lead 2. That's Kieran and Stuart. There is that next group of cars. Martin, Nick, Gaza, Benji, and then the leading Class S car, which is Ben Altria. That's the last car that you see there. Then the second car in the silver class, that's that one, that's Sean Skitter. Stefan Wessels can't keep the pace. He's not doing any tactical thing. The pace is too hot at this stage for Stefan Wessels. He was passed and he is now falling off the back end of that pack. There is no technique to that. That's just purely that high speed gaggle of cars led out by Martin Hobson, as you see it there. That is just a little bit quicker than what he can go at this stage of the fight, and for that reason we have that situation that they slowly but surely getting away from him. Look at the 2 sister cars. Only difference that you can see between those 2, which is Gaza and Benjamin, is the markings on the roof of the car. That is what makes the difference. And then directly there in front of them is the Sharkman, Nick Clemens. Now, Nick, we know, has made a couple of errors here and they're being slightly over hasty. Look at that Sunoco Tower, synonymous with Daytona and American style of motorsport. We know that Nick makes mistakes every now and again. It's just because he pushes very, very hard. He's made no errors so far today. He's doing a lovely job. He's holding on to that 4th position. There is a change up. And Ben Altria is going to split Benjamin McCliskey and Gaza. As Gaza now also decided, hold on a second, I don't want to take a chance and get tangled up with this man that's on a high, Ben Altria. Maybe I must rather just let him go past and then pace with him if I can. Well, he's actually dropped a little way back because Ben Altria is actually, now let's go on board with Ben. There's Ben. He's on the back end of Benji M. Can he go another one forward? Is it possible? Where did he get the setup? What has he been doing? What has he been drinking? I think he's been eating cucumber sandwiches and sipping very sweet tea during the course of the last 24 hours, because Ben Altria is on an ultimate career high right now, leading out that silver class Charger and ahead of Gaza and Stefan. You don't very easily say I beat out on Stefan Wessels, not at all. As we ride aboard with the leading silver class man, Ben Altria, 7 positions up, started in 13. He's driven his way to the front of the pack. There's no doubt about it. I think, well, let's have a look at some of those passing maneuvers. Here's the last one that he did now. Made that look very easy. Then when he went past Stefan Wessels, that was that one. That looked quite fine. Didn't seem to have any problems with that one at all. So let's see if I can pick up any else of the passing maneuvers that he has done. That's where he passed Benjamin McCliskey. That was quite tight. Here's where he passed Alan McCain. Here's where he passed Ian Manners. Here's where he passed McDougall, but that was on. Oh, look at that blinding start that he puts together there. And that was the first of the passing maneuvers that was done by Ben Altria, the man that leads out on the silver class, and he's got the pressure on Benji M. So let's have a look at the front end of the field. Who's leading out? It is Kieran Smart that holds out from Stuart Wyness right in there behind him. Martin Hobson has not been able to hold on to them. Martin Hobson is quite a long. Ooh, what a lovely paint job that is. Gloss black with that shiny tinfoil silver and that fluorescent red maroony color. That really looks nice, and he's got them all lined up there behind him. They all want just a little piece, but they're just not fast enough. The Shockman, Nick Clemens, right in behind that, Benji M. Then the silver class leader, Ben Altria. You just saw Gaza there in the background. There you can see Gaza at the back. But he's driving a love. Where has Martin Hobson been all season long? He's never had a drive like this before. This car driver track car. Oh, Nick Clemens was in there late. He was in there late and hard. I think Nick Clemens might be feeling the pressure from Benjamin McCliskey. I think he realizes I gotta go at some point, because we got him rack packed and stacked. Martin, Nick, Ben, well, Benjamin, then Ben. They now slowly getting away from Gaza. So the same way that Stefan Wessels lost out, so has Gaza started losing out, and he's 1.5 now further back than what he was initially in that high-speed train. So Kieran Smart 6 positions up, Stuart Wyness 2 positions up. Let's look back from Stuart Wyness's car. How does that one look? What does he see behind him? Ah, look at that. Virtually the length of the Daytona back straight, the back quarter mile. And when he goes into the corner, all you see is people. There ain't been no cars behind him. Stuart Wyness has made a 6.8 second gap behind himself without any problem whatsoever. What does it look like looking forward? Well, that is his dartboard in front of him. That's his target, and his target is called Kieran Smart. We're in a 2-hour race. We are almost a half an hour in already. Let's have a slightly better look at that track map. There you can see what it looks like from that start finish line going into turn 1. Then we got that sharp turn number 2. Then that 180 degree Rodriguez International horseshoe. Through turn 4, that is flat foot all the way through there. Turn 5, 2 gears down, 180 degree turn. 1 gear down to turn 6 through turn 7, flat foot all the way through 8 and 9, all the way through the back stretch, down 3 gears when you get into turn 10, carry a fair amount of speed in, but more importantly than the speed that you carry into the bus stop is the speed that you carry out, because turn 11, turn 12 and turn 13 is just one long straight line, and well, it's a bend, but it's actually a straight line because you just keep the hammer down completely. So what speed you carry coming out of that bus stop is very, very important, because that pretty much is going to determine what you carry through that long section, and that multiplies itself out all the way down that long straight, and as that multiplies itself out, so it starts making up a bigger difference than what you can make up under braking in that initial area. Let's ride aboard with Ben Gt3. I can't believe what this guy's doing. It's amazing. Ben Gt3, Benji M under pressure, and Nick Clevens is right there. He hasn't made a single mistake. I mean, no disrespect to Nick, but I mean, he does tend to make mistakes every now and again, and he's faultless. A half an hour behind the steering wheel, Nick Clevens, not a glitch in the system whatsoever. Not quick enough to hold on to Kieran Smart and Stuart Wyness, but well, nobody else is, as we ride on board with a leading silver class car. 2 gold class big hitters in front of him, having a look to make a tighter line to try and come up on the inside of Nick. Nick uses the whole circuit there. He's going to have to close that line off. Oh, he drops down right in front of Benji M. Double toe. Can Ben Gt3 get closer? 0.4 of a second, 0.44. Doesn't seem to be getting any closer. 42, 41, 40, 39, 37, 36, 33. So only towards the end of that long section. Now he's right in behind, but now very equidistant in speed at this stage. You've got to climb out kind of quick, or you do that and you push the person in front of you and get them just a little bit closer. It's going to have to back out of that one before they get to that. Yep, they're going tandem. They're going tandem. Ben Gt3 uses Benjamin McCliskey. 2 cars together is quicker than one, and they work their way through. A brilliant piece of driving there by Ben Gt3. I wonder if they're on the same Discord channel, and Benji M said to him, listen bud, seeing you here, pick me up, just keep it nice and smooth, let's run together. The moment I get up on the inside, there's a bit of a chance, come up on my back bumper, give me a how's it, hello, how's your mommy, and push me through, and let's see what we can do. And that's exactly what they did. They dethroned out of the top 3 Martin Hobson. So Benji M goes up into second. Now remember, the gap between Benjamin McCliskey and Stuart Wyness is 7 seconds. Just remember that number. We can refer back to it a little bit later on. That is the battle that's going on in the front end of the field. Well, that is the front end of the silver class and the front end of the gold class. Who is second in the silver class? Sean Skitter. One of his... It's amazing how the last round, all of a sudden there's a couple of guys that have been there and thereabouts, are all of a sudden in there and cooking on the day. Sean Skitter, completely out of sync with everybody and everything. Only Ben Gt3 in the silver class that is ahead of him. He lies in second. Then the battling Stefan. Maybe Stefan had a bit of contact or something at the car's not handling properly, because Stefan by right should be a bit quicker than what he is. Third in silver class is Ian Manners. There he is. Slightly different paint job that. The color of the wheels somehow don't really go with the spray job. But either way, that's his choice. The leading man in the bronze class, Nigel Stock, the Crest Autosport entry, and he's doing a lovely job, but he has not managed to shake off Mark Sykes. Mark Sykes has been in his mirrors all night long. He has not been able to get away from Marky Mark, and the way that it's going, it's not impossible that Mark Sykes might actually go to the front of the bronze class in this race. Mark Sykes in the Ferrari, Nigel Stock in the BMW. They are first and second in class. Then it's David Farvo. There he's coming through the corner that they were just in and on and through. Let's put that track map up. You can see exactly where they are. Coming up towards that 180-degree right-hander. That is David Farvo. Wesley Lewin directly behind him. Then first, second, third, fourth in the silver class. And the second fastest Audi out there, the Audi R8 LS. That is James Smagersgale. So he finds himself third in class. Lying first, second, third, fourth. And class B is Alessandro Ulati. He's the next man that's there. Alan McCain, it just has not worked out for Alan McCain whatsoever in the iRace Mercedes-Benz AMG. 16 positions down. He started on the front row of the grid. And 16 down, finds himself in 17th position. Also staying out the way. That looks like Sykes that's coming past him. Let's just check on that one. Stuart Wyness, should I say. That's Stuart Wyness. That is in second position overall. That's just put a lap on him as such. 25 seconds further back from the car that we're watching now. Alan McCain is in fact Alwyn Sykes. The third of the three Ferraris that's out there. Completely different looking motor car that is. But I think what we need to do is to go back to where that main battle is. Martin Hobson. And let's drive on board with Martin. Martin Hobson, that was in the top three for the better half of the first 25 minutes. Now in that sixth position. Can't use much more of the curbstone than that. 0.2. At the speeds that they're going now, even with that distance, it's just 0.20 of a second. He's got the drive. He's got the drive. He's coming closer. Is he going to be close enough to be able to make the dive? Surely he's going to dive out. No, I think he's dived out too late. That ain't going to work. I think he was actually looking at trying to do a Ben Altria move there, where you pick up the back end of Benji M and you run through past Martin Hobson by two cars together, bumper to bumper. I funny feeling that is actually what it was about. So let's see who's been into the pits. Nobody that is of contention. James Smagersgale is the leading car that has had to do or has done a pit smart. Well, David Farvo has now gone in, and David Farvo was lying third overall in class at the point that he actually went into the pits. As we ride on board with Martin Hobson. Right in front of him, the Sharkman, Nick Klibben, still in the top 5 is Nick. I think Alwyn Sykes actually, let's have a look at that Alan McCain crash while we're about it. Alan McCain in the 212 representing UK and Ireland in the AMG Mercedes-Benz. Just a little bit too quick and too loud on the gas. Tries to get it out of the way quickly before anybody comes through there. So that didn't work out too well for him. He gets it going again pretty quickly, not too much of a problem. Let's see why Wesley Lewin is as far down as what he is. Going for the competitive dive. Actually held on very, very well, but was just that angle was just a little bit too much for Wesley Lewin. James Smagersgale also a little bit far down the pecking order in the Audi. Let's see what happened to him. That's going into turn number 1. A lot of cars going off there. Yeah, that was what happened to James. That's just some of the incidents that have happened. Let's see if we can pick up, see how long it takes him to get going again. That's just some of the accidents and incidents that have happened so far. As we go back to the live, let's go back to the front end of the field. Kieran Smart, that's what he sees in front of him, and what a lovely sight that is. Wesley Lewin's gone into the pits. Kieran Smart, all on his lonesome. He's up, dusted, and disappeared. He's got 5 seconds on that man, Stuart Wyness from Benji M. Leading silver class man, Ben Altria, now ahead of Nick Cubbins. Martin Hobson, still there and thereabouts. There comes Gaza. There was a nice, neat little dive through there. Sean Skitter, second in the silver class. Not that far off. Let's have a look at the last lap times. Is there a chance of Sean actually catching? Sean Skitter, 1:44.6. He's a tenth quicker than Gaza, although he's 2.4 seconds off him. 1:44.9. Martin Hobson's gone into the pits. Oh, a lot of the boys have dived into the pits now. Stuart Wyness is in. Martin Hobson and Nick Clibbins. Sean Skitter comes in as well. We were just busy having a look at him. Stefan Wessels has also decided 40 minutes and 40 seconds in. That's when they decided to go. Ian Manners is in there as well. Can't miss the look of that motor car. Let's just take those last lap times away. So they're all sitting in the pits. Mark Sykes has gone through. He hasn't gone into the pits. He's gone straight past everybody. So Nick Clibbins, the first man to make his way out of the pits. Then it is Stuart Wyness, who will be the next man to come out of that group that's sitting there. Martin Hobson, Stefan Wessels, and Ian Manners. They're all sitting there. It's going to be Martin Hobson. Then it's going to be Sean Skitter. Stefan Wessels eventually gets going out there. Ian Manners, he was the last one to come in, so he should be the last one to go out. But Ben Altria, okay, he hasn't been into the pits, but he's lying third overall, and that behind Benji M. Are they now going to go in for their pit stops? Very possible. Very, very possible. Remember, Nick Clibbins is now up there. Yeah, there we go. Kieran Smart is in. Kieran Smart comes in. What's going to happen to Benji M? Is Benji going to come in as well? Yep, Benjamin comes in. Ben Altria comes in. Look how they dabbled for that extra little bit of pace as they came down towards the line. Gaza decides it's time now for him to come in. So Gaza is also in. What about Nigel Stock? Okay, Nigel's quite a long way back. So Benjamin McCliskey, the lead man, on track. Well, actually Gaza stops in front of him, but Benjamin went into the pits before him. Who of those guys are going to be the first to come out? Nigel Stock is not there here with them yet. In fact, Nigel Stock has come in. Mark Sykes has come in as well. The shark man, Nick Clibbins, what is he going to do? He's on his way around. Will he now dive into the pits as well? Nope, Nick's going to go straight through. So Kieran Smart will recover the lead of this race. Just about. Yes, he will, because there comes Nick Clibbins. So Nick Clibbins will be second behind him on the track, but Nick not having gone into the pits yet. There's Benji M. There's Penel Trio right behind him. There's Gaza coming through as well. It's Martin Hobson that's going around him there on the outside, and Martin has already been into the pits. So Martin will hold on to that sixth position. Mark Sykes and Nigel Stock, they are both in. Nigel Stock gets off the line just ahead of Mark. That being the two bronze class first and second. No, sorry, Alejandro Ulati is actually ahead of them out on track. So Alejandro Ulati is actually leading out now in the bronze class. That's lovely stuff. So back out on track they get. So I think that is the pit stops for now. Are they going to be doing two pit stops? 40 minutes, 80 minutes, another 40? 122 hours. Looks like it's a 2-pit stopper. I think it's a 2-pit stopper. So let's go from the top end down. It's Kieran Swart. It's Nick Clevens. Stuart Wyness. That's the blue with the orange. Here he comes. Oh, car sounds nice and smooth. Benji M, the leader in the silver class, in there behind him. Ben Altry, undoubtedly at this stage my driver of the day. Martin Hobson, also a contender for driver of the day. That ahead of the highly acclaimed and very popular Gazza Williams, Gareth, Sean Skitter. Well, in the silver class, him and Ben are completely out of sync with where you would expect them to be. Let me put it that way. Stefan Wessels, not really in it tonight. He's dropped 5 seconds off. And in fact, he's got the third of the silver class drivers in there behind him. That's James Smaggersgale. Gearing down heavily as he comes through there. Ian Manners. Then the leading bronze class man, Ulati. Marky Mark behind Nigel Stock. That's Nigel with the black and yellow. That's Mark Sykes in there behind him. Bronze class. Second and third. There's a Lottie coming into our screen now and going past. This that you see is Nigel Stock and Mark Sykes. And then there's a whole 12 seconds back to Wesley Lewin, who's got David Farvo starting to close down from behind. I hope Ben Altria actually watches this race back, because there's more footage of Ben Altria than anybody else in this race. Ben Altria, silver class. This production brought to you by Second Gear Productions. Gary Gazza behind the microphone, bringing you all the information that I can find for the duration of this 2-hour race. So for those of you that have just joined us or have missed out on the front end of this, that is what the Daytona track looks like. 13 corners, lots of high-speed stuff that's out there. And yet another one of our sponsors, a big thanks to IMB Raceway. Riding on board with the leading silver class, Ben Altria in the top 5 overall. Can't believe what this man's doing. Whatever his wife put on his sandwiches today, Mama, you got to do that stuff again, because it's working. Ben Altria is having the race of his life. Is he going to go for a passing maneuver? Is that possible, to have a go at the back end of Benji M? No, it's too close to that sharp turn number 1 left-hander. You got to continuously brake and gear down and turn in all at the same time. It goes about the smoothness of the trail braking as you work your way into that corner. You got to be very good on the brakes, because initially you climb hard onto the brake, as hard as you can. Then you start turning it in. As you start turning in, they're going to go there past Alwyn Sykes. As you start turning it in, so you've got to start lifting lightly off the brake pedal, because now you're asking the front wheels not only to slow the car down, but to change the direction of the car and rotate the car as well. Then the next trick is as you go down with the gears, say you get more retardation on the back wheels, which now changes the emphasis of your braking onto the back wheels, which has now got more retardation on than the front, keeping in mind that the weight under braking is thrown forward, so there's more, call it scale weight. If you put the car on scales, there's more scale weight on the front wheels at that stage of the fight, and then that means that the back end starts getting very loose, and that's where, oh, that's very close to the wall, that's where trail braking comes into it, that you vary your braking according to the amount of rotation according to your steering and the amount of gearing down as well. Is this how we make two cars go faster? Ben Altria on the back of Benji M, saying if I can't get past you, then I'm going to make you faster. At least between the two of us, let's see what we can do. Let's see how fast we can go. I just hope that it doesn't go wrong. He lets him go just before the brake marker. They must be good buds that they can do that kind of thing. They're surely on the Discord together, Ben Altria and Benji M. And Benji's saying, push me, buddy, push me. The only way we're going to get to Stuart Wyness is if the two of us work together. Don't try to go past me, just help me. Look at the car that's in front. That is in fact Stuart Wyness, 4.8 seconds ahead. Just watch as they go through the corner now. You'll see the dot up front going there. You see going towards the right hand side. That is Stewie, and Stewie is in third position with Nick Libbins that has got past him. Let's see if we can see. We can have a look at where Nick Libbins actually went past. It must have been quite a while back. Nick Libbins passing Benjamin McCliskey. Oh, okay, that was when they went for the pit stops. That's why it shows up as a passing maneuver, but that is because Nick was out on track and Benji M was in the pits at that stage of the fight. So, once again, the leading silver class man comes up onto the back bumper, and when you go bumper to bumper, it's 0.64 of a second. That's how long it takes for the length of that car. Let's have a look at what speed they're doing. 270, 280 kilometers an hour in sixth gear, and he's pushing from behind Ben Altria on the back end of a Benji M. How far are they from a Stewart? 3.9. Remember it was 4.2. I think it's working. I think the plan of action of Ben Altria, two cars, works better. See the Mark Sykes livery on the underside of that wing. The only way you can see the underside of Benji's wing is if you do it Ben Altria style. You 0.006 of a second behind him, then you can see the sign writing underneath the wing. 3.8 off Stuart Wyness. Let's have a look at the latest lap times. Stewart 145.0, 144.5, 0.35. That's how much faster Benjamin McCliskey was than Stuart Wyness on the last lap. 3.7. It was 4.2. They've taken a half a second. Ben now going to try and close up again. It's always very good under the brakes going into that section. Can you get onto the back bumper and just up that speed? 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, contact, 270, full contact, 280. Wow, look at that. 145.3, 144.6. Benjamin McCliskey, with the assistance of Ben Altria, is making a go at getting to the back of the man that they really want to catch, and that being Stuart Wyness. Nick Libbins is 5 off Kieran. Stuart is 3 off Nick. It was a 4.2. Benji is now 3.4 off the back of Stewart, and only because of a Ben Altria that's not trying to pass but trying to assist and push, and it's every time at the same position. Let's have a look at that track map. There you can see that's where they are. Okay, I think this time he's too far back, although he catches up pretty quickly. 190, 200, 210, 220, fifth gear, 230, 240, sixth gear, 250, 260, just touching on 270, and then hard on the brakes. Now this is where he's very quick. Look how quickly he gets through that section, and that is where Ben normally closes up onto the back of a Benjamin McCluskey, but Benji's pretty quick this time around. Stewart on the last lap, 145.342, 144.672 by Benji M. Look at this again. Ben Altria. Well, if I can't help you all the time, I'll at least help you this piece. You've got to be so careful doing that. The car moves around underneath you. You can very easily turn the man in front of you around. You've got to be perfectly in sync. And if somebody's doing that behind you, you literally lock your arms up against your waist and you hold on with your fingers very lightly, soft tip finger touch on the steering wheel, and you set your steering that it's got lots of feedback. So the moment you get that light bump from behind, you can feel it on your steering, and then it's fingertip stuff to keep it in a straight line, because when you're doing 250, 260, 270, just the slightest little wiggle side to side with that little bit of pressure from behind can turn you around. 4.2 has turned to 3.1. Can Ben get close enough? He's 0.6 of a second off. Somehow I think it's a bit far back to be of any assistance right now. I think Benji M has got the hammer down. He's got the feel of this one, and he's got the hammer down. And he's stretching Ben's legs just a little bit. This is where Ben is very quick. Watch this one. Under brakes. Carries a lot of speed in there and out. They're going to be almost by turn number 1 by the time he closes up onto the back of Benji M. Still 3.2 seconds. Stewart won there, so 144.9, a 145.0. So without the assistance of Ben Altria, Benjamin McCluskey cannot or does not seem to be able to catch up to Stewart Wyness. You see, once again, he gets in too late. He's got to be closer when they come out of the complex to be able to be of any assistance. So Benjamin McCluskey is going to have to get out the car and go and shake the hand of Ben Altria and say, "Bud, thanks for trying." We're 57 minutes into the 2 hours. Round number 6, season number 5, GT3, Next Gen Racing 2024. Brought to you by Second Gear Productions, Gary Gazer Fleming. Riding on board with Ben Altria. This is where he's got to get a little bit closer. Yeah, that worked out pretty decent. He might just be able to help. You see that 3.2's remained exactly the same. It hasn't changed. As long as Ben is not assisting Benjamin, Stewart is capable of staying just ahead of them. We are almost halfway in this race. Ben's going to have to do something amazing through the complex to be able to be of assistance to Ben. 3.1, Benjamin McCluskey to Stewart Wyness. Benji's pushing very hard. Look how Ben goes through there. It's just that little, somehow he's just got a slightly more finesse type of line through there than Benjamin McCluskey. He is closer now, but once again, by the time he gets to Benjamin, it's going to be almost too late. Benjamin's actually taken almost 2/10 out of Stewart. Let's just see what the lap times. 145.3, 145.0, 3/10. Another 3/10 taken out of that gap. From 4.2, remember when we started to track it? It was 4.2, That's the gap now. We're so enthralled with this one. We're missing out on everything else. Who's the man at the front? It's Kieran Smart. Kieran Smart is leading them out, and he's doing a lovely job, because there comes Nick Clibbins. Then the man that the boys are trying to catch, Stuart Wyness. And where's the boys? There comes Benji M and Ben Altria. Martin Hobson is the next man through behind them. There comes Martin. Lovely sticker job. Gazza's holding on to the back of him. Sean Skitter's holding on to the back of him. Stefan Wessels has not been able to make an impact in this one. He lies in a 9th position, 7th overall in class. Stefan Wessels. He might still win the championship overall, points-wise. But this race is definitely not the fastest man out there. Going to the silver class, 2nd position in the silver class is Ian Manners. Can't miss that car. It's a very distinctive look about it. Then the leading bronze class car behind that, 18 seconds. Only now coming out into that section of the circuit. As you can see, the 11 with the green around it on your track map. A big thanks to Esports Motorsport UK and Douglas Motorsport for their involvement in this season of GT3 Next Gen Racing. 6 rounds for the season. This is round number 6. Nigel Stock. Bit of a lonely race for Nigel Stock. Just behind that is Wesley Lewin. Mark Sykes. He's having a very good run today. He's Mark Sykes. Now, I'm not sure if Wesley Lewin is silver class or bronze class. It doesn't show on his entry at all. So, if he is a silver class, then he's 3rd in class. If he's a bronze class, he's then leading the class with Mark Sykes in 2nd. If he is not a bronze class, that means that Mark Sykes is now leading the bronze class and having a look for that outside line. A lot of guys have a look at the outside line under braking. I think you just feel a little bit safer if you don't trail in behind the guy in front of you and maybe make a bit of contact. Just go just one line wider and run a slightly wider line going in there. It seems to be the safer kind of option. And you don't seem to lose much time, because when you turn it in going towards the apex of the corner, you pull it in fairly tight at that point, and then you get your acceleration in before the man in front of you, and that makes up for the difference in the acceleration point at which you come out of the corner. So that then closes that little gap up again. Mark Sykes on the move. Let's go on board the high-speed section with Mark Sykes. 150, 3rd gear. 150 kilometers now in 3rd gear. 4th, 210, 220. 5th gear, 230, 240. Try and stay right in the slipstream. 260, 5th gear. Just on 270. The best I've seen in that section so far has been 271. Let's see, let's have a look at top speeds. Who's got the highest speed? Oh, there's a 274. I see a 281 by Stuart Wyness and Martin Hobson. A 283. So it's, no, it's not. It's 270. So 281 is the fastest. Now that's pretty much when you're sitting in a train of cars and you're running 3rd, 4th, 5th in that train of cars, and you pick up that multiple slipstream. That is how you get that little bit of extra pace. An hour and 3 minutes of our 2-minute race has 2 minutes. This was 2 minutes. It's the longest 2 minutes of these guys' lives. 2-hour race it is. Sitting all over the back end. So Phil McDougall is 10 laps down, and Phil McDougall is actually watching the live stream that's going out now. The Next Gen Racing live stream. Hi, Phil and Mark Wyness, representing Team Scotland. Phil, if you can maybe give us indication of actually what happened, if you can stick it up on a live stream for us, and we can tell the folks, the rest of the folks that are watching at home, and then obviously will be watching the live stream at a later stage, what exactly went wrong, because Phil McDougall is out of it. He's parked the car 10 laps back. As we ride on board with Mark Sykes in behind Wesley Lewin. Very similar on pace. A big thanks to Higgins Motorsport. There you can see how he slowly but surely closes up. Too little, too late. Back into the tight section. Ooh, has a dive for the inside, but he won't be able to make that one stick. There's not enough space there. And that section there by the exit of the pits is just too tight. There's no ways you're going to get through there. Wide entry, late apex. Doesn't manage to get onto the gas as quickly as what Wesley Lewin does, so doesn't make up any positions there. Front end of the silver class. Ben Altria, lots of open ground in front of him. He's lost out on the man that was directly in front of him. That's a bit strange. Ben Altria from Benjamin McCluskey. Let's see if well, Ben Altria actually passed Nick Gibbons at some point. That must have also been in the pit lane. Yep, that must have been because of the pit lane. That's why it showed there as a passing maneuver. I cannot see a reason why there is that gap. If Ben maybe went off circuit, let me see if I can maybe pick up an off circuit of Ben Altria, that he had a bit of a wobble, and that created the gap between. Oh, he was into the pit lane. Nope, that was his. No, he's just lost that ground because it was 44 minutes 26 seconds. That is when they went into the pits. And from there on out, Ben Altria has been pushing the back bumper of Benjamin McCluskey. Benjamin has now got away from Ben Altria. Let's have a look at the last times and see how that one has played itself out. Yeah, a 144.8, a 145.0, so 2/10 on the last lap between Benjamin McCluskey and Ben Altria. Third in the gold class and then fourth overall, but first in the silver class is Ben Altria. A 45.9, a 44.8. Stuart Wyness, although he's 10 seconds off, it's not going to make much difference. 45s, 45s, 45.2. Oh, all of them. 45.2, 45.2, 45.2, 45.1, 45.1. So Benji, Ben, Martin, Gaza, Sean, Stefan, all doing 145.1s on the last lap. Ian Manners, who's 16 seconds further behind, he's 3/10 slower, but he is 17 seconds further back and third overall in the silver class. That's what makes the difference there. Mark Sykes is still all over the back end of Wesley Lewin. He's right on board with Marky Mark. Mark Sykes on Wesley Lewin. 12 seconds gap in front of him, so no problem there. David 17 seconds back. David Fargo in the silver class. Third overall in the silver class. Down towards turn number 1 they go. Mark taking that usual wider line going in, I think just for the safety side of it, to be very honest. Mark Sykes pushing so hard. Let's have a look at the gains and losses. How's that looking at this stage of the fight? Mark Sykes, 5 up for Mark Sykes, 5 up for Wesley Lewin, 8 up for Nigel Stock. That's pretty good. The biggest gain is Ben Altria. That's batting with the big boys up front. He's in the top 5. In fact, he's in 4th position. A 45-0 by Stewart. A 44-7. Another 3 tenths. Remember 4.2? It's now 2.1. In fact, it's 2.0. Benjamin McCliskey going in search of a Stuart Wyness. Going in search is one thing. Getting past is going to be another. So McCliskey has really got the hammer down at this stage of the fight. Let's have a look. Everybody's done one pit stop, except, see, that's why Nick's so far down. He's been twice into the pit, so he must have got a little bit of damage at some stage. What lap were they on when they went in? Lap 23, lap 24. That's when they went in. Then there was that, oopsie, up the inside. Up on that inside line. So Mark Sykes eventually has to do what he has to do. He goes past Wesley Lewin. I think Wesley just got tired of all the pressure and thought, no, let me rather just let this guy go, because I can't hold this pressure anymore. And he lets Mark Sykes go. So, if Wesley Lewin is not in the bronze class, then that means that Mark Sykes now lies second in the bronze class. And that, behind that man, that's just a little bit further up the straight, Nigel Stock having a very, very good run, is Nigel Stock today. One of his best. Nigel Stock in that 11th position, leading out in the bronze class. McCliskey once again, a 44-7, taking 6 tenths out of Stuart Wyness on that last lap. Also taking a bunch of time out of Ben Altria, who's now 3 seconds behind Benji M. 44-8. Stefan Wessels battling in the 46s. A lot of 45-1s. He's on a 46-1, Stefan Wessels. So, yep, not a good season closer for Stefan Wessels. The man that at times has dominated the gold class. And it's just not coming together today. A big, big thanks to IMB Raceway. Taking some racing to the next level. Well, talk about the next level. Alessandro Ulati went from the level that he was, and he turned it into chaos. The pending systems, Audi, turn number 1. Whoa, he just went straight, and he stops. Oh, he turns it a little bit tighter and gets going again. I think that was just he ran out of road and ideas around about the same time. He just went straight. That didn't want to work out for him. And then maybe a bit of tiredness starting to come in. Again. No, there's got to be something wrong there. Definitely got to be something wrong, because he went out of it and he went into the pits. So that looks like connectivity problems. Nick Gibbons using the whole track, the sidewalk, the grass embankment, and the putting green, and a little bit more on that specific lap. So Ulati, I think, has got connectivity problems. It's the only reason. Twice in a row, brakes and turns, and the car just goes straight. Mark Sykes back behind Wesley Lewin. that's how it happened. Wesley Lewin got it up on the inside of Marky Mark. Can't get much closer than that. That's how that passing maneuver happened. Alwyn Sykes into the pits he goes. So if you go, everybody's basically gone 40 minutes before they went into the pits. 40 plus 40 is 80. That's 1 hour 20. We are on 1 hour, called 1 hour 15 at this stage of the fight. So it would tend to look like the guys are going to be coming in a couple of laps from now. Kieran Smart going past the Alwyn Sykes car that's just come out of the pits. Remember, Alwyn Sykes just entered the pit lane, I think. Let's just check. Is that why? Yep, yeah. He was on his way into the pit lane, on his way out, hence that passing maneuver. So Kieran Swart still doing it all right up front. He's got 11 seconds on Stuart Wyness. There comes Stewie. Benji M holding tight and closing. Remember 4.2, it's now 1.1. But where Ben Altria was pushing Benjamin McCluskey, they were taking 2/10 and 3/10 per lap. All of a sudden, Ben Altria fell off the pace. Ben Altria has fallen 5 seconds behind Benjamin McCluskey. Benjamin said thanks for the help and carried on from there on out. And he's just gotten further and further away. Flatfoot stuff all the way through there. Mark Sykes, a half a second off Wesley Lewin. He passed Wesley. Wesley repassed him. Gazza's now closing onto the back of Martin Hobson with David Favre. That's back into the pits. So that's probably his second, shall we say, scheduled stop. If it is scheduled at 40 minutes, 40, 40 and 40 to make it even in terms of tire wear, fuel loads, etc., etc., then in about a lap and a half, 2 laps from now, you'll see they'll probably come pouring into the pits as we watch Gazza closing up on the back end of Martin Hobson. Last lap for them, Gazza a 44.4, a 44.8. So that is the visual difference. 4/10 on the last lap. That is closed up onto the back end of Martin Hobson. Now, that's basically the difference between picking up a slipstream and not picking up a slipstream. To pick up the slipstream, you can take 4/10. Can he take out just a little bit more? Gazza, 0.7. Behind Martin Hobson. Has had a lovely race so far today. 0.6. Does the toe work at that distance back? Doesn't seem like it. You've got to be closer than 0.6 for it to actually come into play. Nope, he's made up no extra ground in that piece. So it looks like with the slipstream from the Martin Hobson BMW is not enough on 0.6 of a second to be able to make use of it. Right now, they go out into that long section with a 0.5 gap. Does it work on 0.5 or do you have to be even closer? 5.3, 5.2, 5.1, 4.7. Yep, it does appear that you've got to be within 0.5 of a second to start to pick up the side effects and the assistance of the slipstream from the car in front of you. In this case, the slipstream of the Martin Hobson BMW. Second of the BMWs out there. 6th on track. 5th in class. They're both going to come up now behind Alwyn Sykes. Going to have to make the passing maneuver on Alwyn, but Alwyn always stays out of the way. He does exactly that now. He says, sorry guys, let me not get in your way. Gaza goes through as well. Looking back, you see Gaza's also made it. So I'm going to take a long shot, hazard a guess that they might just come into the pits the next lap after this one. Let's see what happens. Here comes Kieran. He is the leader. He'll obviously have looked at the imagery and say, okay, if I go in, what is the duration? No, he's going to go straight through. He's not going in yet. Here comes Stuart. Is Stuart and or Benji going to come into the pits at this point? Nope, both of them go straight through. Ben Altria, he's got open ground in front of him, with Phil McDougall moving off towards the outside. So Phil McDougall, that was out for a period of time, is in fact back in the race again. At one stage he was watching the live stream. Maybe he had some connectivity problems and eventually got it sorted out and got it going again. But remember 4.2, Benjamin McCluskey to Stuart Wyness. Remember 2.1, well, look at this one. It's now down to less than half a second. Benjamin McCluskey, who was being assisted by Ben Altria, the leading silver class man, up the pace. There you can see in the background is Ben Altria, the leading silver class man, that is lying in 4th overall. This that you see in front of you, that is Benji M onto the back of Stuart Wyness. And after that assistance from Ben Altria, Benjamin McCluskey turned up the wick, drove away from Ben Altria and went to fetch Stuart Wyness. Now, having caught him, seeing that we won, oopsie, up against the wall, a little smidgen of white paint coming off there. Now that Benji's caught him, is it now a case of, okay, I can now leapfrog you because I can use your slipstream? Or is it a case of I don't want to get caught up behind you? See, Wesley Lewin's gone into the pits, so I'm rather going to go into the pits. It looks like into the pits to me. Stuart goes in. So Stuart's decided, okay, I'd rather go in than allow you to use my slipstream to go past me. We both go into the pits together. You come out of the pits in front of me. That doesn't work. So he decides, if you can catch me, but I ain't going to allow you to pass me that easily. He will go for a splash and dash and get out as quick as possible. Will that man that's just dived in there now, Stuart Wyness. Let's see who's going to be the first of those guys to come out. There's Martin Hobson. There's Stuart Wyness. There is Stefan Wessels. They're all sitting in the pits. Probably find Stuart will be the first one of those to be able to pull out of the pits. He was the first one to go in. It feels like forever when you're sitting in the pits. Yep, yeah, here comes Stuart Wyness. He's the first man. Ian Manners comes in as well. Probably fine. It's going to be Martin Hobson's going to be the next man. Yep, Martin Hobson. Then it'll be Stefan Wessels. And Skitter is right there with him. The gold class man versus the silver class man. Two teammates running line astern. And out of the pits they'd come. So that's their second and last, barring unforeseen circumstances, stop that the two of them are going to make. Ian Manners is still in the pits. There he gets going now as well. Onto the pit exit he comes. Kieran Smart leading out. Let's have a look at those pit stops. Kieran Smart, Benjamin McCluskey and Ben Altria have not been in. Gaza's in. Gaza comes in. Stuart Wyness has already been in. Yeah, he comes around the corner now. Can Stuart Wyness jump Gaza in the pits? Should be so, yes. Because before he went in for his pit stop, he was ahead of Gaza. So unless Gaza's got a 14-inch diameter fuel pipe and he's got super high pressure hoses to lift that car up and put other rubber underneath it, put 4 new tackies on it and get it back onto the deck. I do believe that Nxtgen Gt3 is going to get past Gaza. There he comes now around the outside. There's Gaza, and here comes Stewart. Gaza pulls away, and Nxtgen Gt3 says hello, have a nice day. And through he goes. Nigel Stock has now dived into the pit lane as well. So Kieran, Benji M and Ben are still to make their additional pit stops. Nigel Stock and Mark Sykes have gone into the pits at the same time, pretty much on the same lap. Kieran, does he go in? Yes, he does. Kieran dives in. What does Benji do? Probably find Benji's going to take a dive into the pits now as well. It's almost 21 hour 25. Yes, he goes in as well. Make his second stop, and there's Ben comes flying in as well. He takes the shortest, he believes the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and up the inside of the track he goes. For a long time he was off circuit. He might actually pick up a penalty point for that one. Ben Altria, undoubtedly the driver of the day at this stage of the fight. Silver class, 3rd position overall. Gaza's all over the back of Nick Clibbins while we watch this one. There's Gaza and Nick. Kieran's on his way out. That is the race leader. There goes Kieran. Benji's on his way out as well. Ben Altria. Stewart's lost out badly. Stewart has lost out very, very badly on that one. Nxtgen Gt3 is now 2 seconds behind Benjamin McCliskey. Well, that pit stop just didn't work for him. That'll be a major disappointment. So, with 1 hour 26 and a half gone of the 2 hours, those of you that have just joined us, or you've missed the beginning of it, here's where we are. Nxtgen Racing GT3 Season 5, round number 6, the very last round of the season. Round number 6, Daytona Road circuit. That is the Daytona Oval that you see them on now. The road circuit is that inner section that they are using. To have a good look at that inner section there, you can see. So they're using everything of the outer section except for that little piece between turn 1 and where they come back onto the circuit in turn 7. So every lap that they do encompasses 95% of the back circuit, of the outer circuit, the bank circuit as such, plus then the whole turn 2, the horseshoe, turn 4 and turn 5, and then the turn 6 doubling up on turn 7, going back out again. So that is how that one plays itself out. A big thanks to these people that make it possible. IMB Raceway. To the action. Right, let's look at it from class to class. Kieran Smart. He's been out there all night long. Let's have a look at the gains and losses while we're about it. Kieran Smart from the 3rd row of the grid, right to the front. 18 seconds he's taken out of Benji M. Now we've seen Kieran Smart win races earlier on in this 6-race season that we are in, and this is going to be a class act by Kieran ahead of Benji M. Stuart Van Ness, that's just lost out with the pit stops, and now finds himself out of that second into that third position, third on track, third in class, leading BMW behind the two Porsches. Behind him, Ben Altria, the leading silver class man, the leading Audi out there as well, way ahead of anybody else in the silver class is Ben Altria. Got to be driver of the day, ahead of Gaza. Let's get a bit of a closer shot of that. There we go. There's Gaza, who's now ahead of Nick, the Sharkman Klibbens. There comes Martin. Martin's just gone past the bronze class driver David Favo. Both of them are ahead of Stefan Wessels, who will probably be the overall gold class champion, but he's not dominant on this one. Sean Skitter all over his back bumper all day long. Is he maybe knowing that he's got enough points to win this one, saying, okay, let these guys go to the front, I've won it anyway, it's not a train smash, let me concentrate on my teammate Sean, let me shame the Lions, let me drag him around with a little bit of a slipstream and see if I can maybe help him in this specific race. It's possible, it's just a speculation. There's Sean Skitter right in behind Stefan Wessels. Look at those color schemes on those two motors cars. They look exactly the same. Only really the numbers, the difference between the two of them. Third in the silver class. Can't miss that one. Ian Manners representing the UK and Ireland. Yet another Porsche. One Audi and two Beamers amongst the 10 cars, the 9 cars that's ahead of him. So 6 of them are Porsches. In behind him is Nigel Stock. He's at a very lonely race. He's 8 positions up. So he started in 19th out of 20. And wow, he's completely out of it. There's nobody in front. There's nobody behind. So it's just him and the wide open roads. It's like if you like an open top motor car and you hit the open road. That's exactly where Nigel Stock is. He's all out there in the open. Wesley Lewin, the next man behind him, was James Smagersgale, the next man to come through behind him. That's a silver class car, James Smagersgale. Marky Mark Sykes. He's just been lapped there by Benji M. Fortunately, just a little bit too far back to pick up a bit of a toe to make it really count. But either way, it's Nigel Stock from Mark Sykes in the bronze class. The man that just went in for a pit stop and came out again, that's David Favo. He's third overall in the bronze class. And then Alan McCain is just not working out for Alan McCain at all. Somehow or other, him and that Mercedes-Benz just don't seem to be gelling. Nice little mash up there with the paint job. Orange and blue and black with a smidgen of red in the sign writing. But it's just not worked out for Alan McCain. Got a very high I rating for a Class B driver, 4.99. That's very good. You've got to do a lot of public races to have a 4.99. So he's well on his way to a A rating. He's obviously got to do a couple more races in the Class B to do his 4 races in Class B, because his I rating is high enough, and then he'll become a Class A as well. Benji M is also a 4.99, as is Gaza. That's a massive rating. Alessandro Lati, although his Class C also has a 4.99, so he's busy climbing the ladder very, very quickly. So we've got a good couple of folks that's busy watching us live. Guys, put your live chats in there. Say hi. Let us know what you think of the racing today. Who are you shouting for? Kieran Smart from Benji M. 19 seconds between them. We're watching Alan McCain and David Farvo. Well, in fact, there's Alan McCain in there behind Wesley Lewin. He's trying to make a plan to get past. Let's go back to the shock man, Uncle Nick Clivens. He finds himself in there behind Gaza. Gaza started in the top 5, in fact, in 5th position, and is still in that 5th position. Just 25 minutes to go. Nick Clivens, 5th in class, 6th overall on circuit. Gonna have a look at the back end of Gareth, see if he can maybe make a plan to get past there. By now the guys are going to be feeling a bit of fatigue with this one. They've been going for a long time. Just joining up with the guys here quickly on the live stream, saying howdy gents. Let's see if anybody comes back to us that's busy watching this live stream. This live stream has been brought to you very happily by Second Gear Productions. Myself, Gary Geza. The other Geza. Second Gear Productions has done Protos and the GT3s. Season 5 and Season 6 respectively for 2024, and hope to be getting some more opportunity to be with you guys for the latter part, or the middle and latter part of 2024. I hope I get the call up to do some more racing with Nxtgen. I must say, very well organized league, and all the information comes through timeously. They do all their race prep long before the time. They do the loading of their races long before the time as well. And the Clivens closing up once again on Gaza. Gaza will hold that one going into turn number 1. So a very organized group is Nxtgen. So with a bit of luck, we'll be able to do some more with you guys. And remember, next week is the last round of the Protos. This is the last round of the GT3s. So next week we'll do the last round of the Protos, and that'll be Season 5 and Season 6 of Protos and GT3. And then let's see what happens from there on out. Hopefully there'll be another one that'll be able to join you guys with. 9 positions up for Ben Altria, the leading Audi, the leading silver class man. 22.5 minutes to go. He's just trundled his way through the field, just up dusted and disappeared from the rest of the silver class. All the pit stops, to my mind, has been done. James Smagersgale, I think, just passed. Yeah, I think that was Smagersgale that just went past. Up on the inside. Almost looked like a bit of a giveaway. Remember, after 1 hour 37 minutes, you can't stop to open up a new bubble gum. You can't jump up and go to the gents. There's no time for that. Unless you got a water bottle with a pipe strapped to you, there's no chance to have a sip of water either. The Clivens there in the background. Martin Hobson's closing up. Martin Hobson, in fact, starting to put the pressure on. He is 5 positions down. He started in 2nd, but he still had a very good run today, Martin Hobson. So this is where the fatigue comes into it. You can't make mistakes. You've got to be smooth and neat. From lap number 1, corner number 1, to lap What are they going to do? Probably about 65, somewhere around there. It's a long time. 65 times around this circuit. 12 corners, closing to 700 corners that you're going to take. 700 times that you've got to climb on the brakes and go down through the gears. 700 times that you've got to climb on the gas and ease the power in nice and smoothly. That's a lot of concentration. Martin Hobson on the back of Nick Clibbins, who's on the back of Gareth Gaza-Williams. Just outside of that area where you can pick up a slipstream. You've got to be about 4 tenths. 4 tenths, it starts sucking you in on that car in front of you. You'll see where the guys are 0.6 off going into that fast, high banked section. Doesn't really close from there. Martin was on 0.5. It's gone down to 0.47. 0.46, 45, 44. You see there it starts working. Now you start getting sucked in. 40, 39, 38, 37, 0.36. So you've got to be just that little bit closer, and then you start picking up that vacuum effect from the car in front of you. In fact, from the two cars in front of you, because with those two cars together actually creates even a bigger slipstream for you to use. So Gaza, with Nick being sucked in behind him, Martin Hobson with a double toe, but he's got to be closer when they get out onto the highway, if you want to call it that, the banked section. They are going to be coming up now behind another vehicle that's in front of them. We'll check who that is now. Keep an eye on the battle box. Martin Hobson behind Nick Clibbins, behind Gaza. Let's go on board with Nick. Yeah, it's Mark Sykes. Marky Mark. That's the green car that's in front. This production brought to you by Second Gear Production, Gary Gaza Fleming. A big thanks to all our associate sponsors, Benji Sim, Douglas Motorsport, Mark Sykes Design, Choice Designs, Higgins Motorsport. Oh, hammering that gearbox. Hammering that gearbox. And Sam Cases. Gearbox taking an utter pounding in this 2-hour race. Nick Clibbins behind Gaza. All of them behind Marky Mark Sykes. Mark's putting up a very good fight actually. Not giving anything away here whatsoever. You won't pass, you come fetch me. I'm not going to slow down for you. Let's just see if we can pick up who is the next one in front of that. Ben Altria. The man in front of that is in fact Ben Altria. Then it's Gaza. And then behind that is Nick Clibbins. And coming through behind that with a triple toe now is Martin Hobson. There you can see the effects of the toe start coming into play, making up a good close to a half a car length. Quicker on the gas coming out is Gaza. Opens up just a little bit on Nick. Nick 3 positions down from where he started. Started third, now in 6th. 5 positions down, having started second, and now down to 7th. There's Hobson. Into the pits, Nick Clibbins. My goodness. An extra pit stop. That's going to blow him out of the water completely. Hobson says, okay, that's fine. I'll just take that position over. Comes up onto the back end of Gaza. I'm surprised that Nick Clibbins is coming. Is that maybe just a drive-through for Nick Clibbins? Or is he standing? He's standing. That's very strange. Let's have a look at the last pit lap that he was in. Okay, well that shows this lap now because he's just come in. The number of times that they've been in the pits. Yeah, that's one extra. One extra for Nick Clibbins. Maybe there was a bit of damage on the motor car that he had to have sorted out. Remember, everybody in front of Nick Clibbins is an A-class public iRacer specialist that's in front of him. And Ian Manners, Nigel Stock and James Magersgale are also A-class racers in behind him. Nick is in fact a Class B with a I rating of 3.26. Just a quarter of an hour to go. Is any of the other big hitters going to go in as well? Martin Hobson with that open ground now in front of him with the non-existence of Nick Clibbins in there, the Shark Man. Martin Hobson now goes in search of Gaza Williams. Oh, he's getting pretty close as well. Wanting to have a look, but that's the wrong side of you. To get around the outside there, you got to go some. But he shows his intentions. Martin Hobson on Gareth says to him, I want to have a look at the back of you, boy. Shows his nose on that inside line. And remember the man in front of them. It's Martin Hobson and Gaza. And then it's Ben Altria that's in front of the two of them. They've all cleared Mark Sykes, who's not in the same class. Martin Hobson on the back of Gareth. See, Sean Schutter is still holding on to the back of his teammate Stefan Wessels, a gold class with a silver class behind it. Stefan Wessels being the teammate, looking at the livery of Stefan Wessels. One minute 46 of the 2 hours, 60 laps that have happened already. Let's have a look at the best lap times, and in fact Kieran Smart has got the fastest, 1 minute 44. So another 5 laps. Yeah, about 7 laps is going to be what it's going to. About 7 or 8 laps. They'll probably do around about 70 laps in total in this 2 hours. As we watch Martin Hobson on the back of Gareth Williams. I say on the back, but for how long? Look at the look of those BMW lights on the back of the Porsche. Once again looking for that outside. Not scared to have a shofty out there to see if there's a bit of space. Maybe wanting to just apply the pressure in all directions. Martin Hobson that had a whole train of cars behind him earlier on. They took the pressure. They eventually got past. Now he's the man applying the pressure. Martin Hobson on Gaza. Gotta love that livery on the 88 car. Let's have a close-up look at that Beamer. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. The multicolors of Gaza just in front of him. 0.3 of a second. Is this where he can get closer? Is the slipstream going to be enough? 0.3, 0.26, 0.25, 4, 3, 2, 0.19. But early on the brakes there, wanting to get the drive coming out of the corner. Did it pay off? 0.37, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29. He's closing. Is this going to be where Martin Hobson is going to go right around the outside of Gaza? It's not impossible. You need to flash the headlights, not the windscreen wipers, bud. There we go. He has a look on the outside line. Is this going to be the one? No, I don't think he's... he might. No, it's not going to... Oh. He showed his hand on the previous lap, showing that he wanted to do that. Ben Altria staying ahead of the two of them. Martin starting to throw that beamer around now. He says, get that Porsche out of the way. I'm on my way through here. Just on 10 minutes still to go. James Magersgale close on the back of Wesley Lewin. Sean Skitter following through on a Stefan Wessels, his teammate. This is the battle. That's the closest of the lot that's out there. Martin Hobson on the back of Gareth Williams. Both of them playing second fiddle to the leading silver class man that's just ahead of them. That being Ben Altria. Ben Altria looks in his mirror. Wow, those two guys, yeah, they're gold class. Know about them. Look at the dirt on the side of that motor car of his, the leading Audi. Just listen now when he gears it down. Lays with the accelerator, gets it back out. He's doing enough to stay ahead of Gazza. I think Gazza at this stage is more interested in trying to keep Martin Hobson behind him. You see how close Martin is, just 4 tenths. E-Motorsport UK being one of our series sponsors alongside Douglas Motorsport. Oh, Martin's having a go again on the exact same spot that is turn number 1, trying to do the cutback this time. Oh, the pressure is on. Look at that. Right on the back bumper. Ominous look of that BMW's headlights. Eight minutes, 50 seconds to go in this 2-hour race. Gotta love the look of those headlights. Well, let's see what happens for the follow-up season for Protos. I mean, there's still one more Proto race that's going to be same time, Eastern time, 7 o'clock next week Thursday, 9 o'clock GMT, Greenwich Meridian time, as we have here in Africa. Coming to you from the Second Year Production Studio in the southern tip of Africa, South Africa. Honor and a pleasure to be here with you. Mike side Gary Gaza from Second Year Productions, local motorsport commentator of the South African motorsport. Do all the main and national events, travel around the country. Around about 2 hours 25 flying time from the southern half of South Africa to the northern tips of South Africa. Lots and lots of coastline. Once again, here comes the dive. Is it going to work this time around? Is he in deep enough? Can he force the move? He's going to try. He's going to try, and he does it. And he does it. Martin Hobson. It was the fourth attempt. For 4 laps, he attempted that. For 3 laps, he attempted it. And the 4th lap, he made it stick. That with 7.5 minutes to go. Martin Hobson on the comeback after having dropped a good couple of positions. So, yeah, what I normally do in South Africa is I travel around South Africa, do all the big events at the main circuits, Kyalami, Kalani, Swartkops Raceway. And whenever there's big events that I can go to, I go and join those ones. Specialised mainly in oval track, gravel oval. 2 main governing bodies, VUMSA, World of Motorsport South Africa, and then MSA, Motorsport South Africa. Motorsport South Africa having the ability to hand out national colours, the original motorsport affiliation in South Africa. So like to do then nationals, and then the big oval events, gravel oval, that happen around the country. Go to just about all of them. Fly to the venue on the Friday, party and learn what's happening on the Friday. Do the races on the Saturday. We love big after parties. Specialize in the after parties. Drag yourself on the aeroplane on Sunday morning and then work your way back to the friendly city, the friendly windy city of Cape Town. But during the week, it's iRacing that we do. And as we come towards the end of this 2-hour race, Kieran Smart, 22 seconds in the Porsche ahead of the Nxtgen Racing Porsche of Benjamin McCliskey. He's only got 4 seconds ahead of Stuart Wyness, who was in second, lost out with the pit stops, ended up in third. Not that far behind him, should be in the same, no, just outside of that camera shot is Ben Altria. He's not too worried really about the guys behind him. It's more a boy thing because he's leading the silver class. Is Ben Altria. So Martin Hobson with Gazin, that's in there behind him. That is for overall positions 4th, 5th and 6th on this race. But for class, it doesn't make any difference to Ben. He could, if need be, quite easily back off, let Martin and Gazza go past and go through, stay away from it all, and make sure that he wins his class. But it's a boy thing. You've spent 1 hour and 55 out there. You've driven past these guys. As true as nannies ain't going to give it away again. You're going to do everything in your power to make sure when you look in your mirror, that's what you see. Martin Hobson, Gazza Williams, Sean Skitter. What's happened to Stefan Wessels? Stefan Wessels has had an off track. Oh, dearie me. Well, as they say, there you see Sean Skitter going through as the port. Oh, that's very neat. That's a very neat turnaround and recovery. That maybe just a little bit of tiredness stepping in there as we ride on board with Ben Altria. Being closed down by Martin Hobson, who has passed Gazza Williams. So Stefan Wessels actually making that error. Sean Skitter, his South African teammate, that then goes past him, who had been trailing him to within 0.8 of a second for the last hour, literally, goes past and says, well, thanks very much for the assistance, but I'm going to keep on trucking. Sean Skitter, the second silver class car out there, he finds himself ahead of Nick Gibbons, the only man in the top 10 that's done 3 pit stops as to everybody else's 2 pit stops. He must have had excess damage on the car or something like that for him to have done that extra pit stop. It's very surprising. I didn't expect to see him going in there at all. There's a lovely shot from our Nxtgen blimp, looking directly south, downstairs to what's happening on the circuit. Ben Altria from Martin Hobson. Gazza Williams coming to view there. 2.5 minutes to go. I suppose the right thing to do at this stage of the fight. Let's go on board with Kieran Smart and let's see what you've got to do for a lap around the Daytona track to be able to be right at the front with a 24-second gap. This will probably be his second last lap because there's 2 more minutes to go. So you'll probably get the white flag when he goes through this time. A faultless effort once again by Kieran Smart. Using a lot of revs there in 6th gear. Probably the second last time that he'll come through that complex. Recommended community, Motorsport UK Esports. Going to be coming past the start-finish line now and starting the last lap. There's the start-finish line. So that, to my mind, will be the start of the last lap. I'll be very surprised if that's a 1 minute 44. So it's probably going to be just on the button when he comes through. It'll be just gone the 2 hour mark when he comes through past that start finish line for the first time. Ooh, Gazza's on Martin again. Look at this. Gazza and Martin having one hell of a battle. You've got to love the livery on that Martin Hobson car. Whoever did the paint job. See, Ben Altria's backed out of it. They have passed the Ben Altria. So did Ben Altria say, I'm not going to get involved with this one. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm in a different class to you guys. I do not want to get involved with that. Oh, that's the long replay. Let's just get that one. Gaza. Yep, he backed out of it. He backed out of it and let them go. That's a clear back off by the leading silver class man, Ben Altria, allowing Martin Hobson and Gaza to carry on with their fight unhindered. They did close down on him. And I think he then decided, I tell you what, they gold class, I'm silver class. I showed them what I can do. Let them go. Let them have their fight. And, oh, Kieran Smart's already taken the checkered flag. Can you believe it? Oh, he was so far ahead. That's Kieran Smart. And here comes our second place man. He's going to come up towards the line. Oh, we almost missed out. And Kieran did that lap so quick. Probably one of his fastest laps. Benjamin McCliskey will come through ahead of a Stuart Wyness. Then it's Martin Hobson. Marginally, and Gaza was having a look there, and Ben Altria was in with them as well. Here comes Sean Skitter, second in the silver class. Nick Evans, the only man to have done 3 pit stops in the top 10. It's Nick Evans, the Shark Man, closing off his GT3 season. Round number 6, season number 5, GT3, Next Gen Racing. Nick coming up towards the line. I think he'll be pretty happy with his season overall. The next man coming through, Ian Manners. And the oddly coloured, should I say, Porsche. Quite a mixture of colours there. It's like a rainbow. And that pretty much wraps it up. It looks like it was Nick Clibbins that was doing a whole bunch of donuts there. Yeah. Nick Clibbins saying thank you to one and all for watching and supporting me as he goes into a series of donuts. In fact, everybody goes into a series of donuts. Look at that. What a lovely view. Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 5 round number 6 Daytona Bank Circuit, using the whole Daytona circuit. What a lovely view that is. Even Stuart Wyness is in there as well. Benji M just cruises around, says, I'm not part of that stuff. I got nothing to do with that. You guys have a bit of fun out there. So, folks, that wraps it up. 2 hours, one race that I think a good couple of people are going to take with them and use it as motivation in time to come. Let's have a look at the race results. Let's see if the computer will bring it up for us yet. Yes, it does. There it is. So, the overall winner, Kieran Smart from Benji M, from Stuart Wyness. Kieran Smart won a couple of races before. Not surprised that he's won again. Benji M, always there and thereabouts. Not surprised that he's in second. Stuart Wyness, I think it's one of his best. Um, he's always there and thereabouts, but not normally ahead of Gaza um, and the likes of. Where's the man that I'm looking for now? I don't even see him. Stefan Vessels, people like that. So yes, a pretty good run. Martin Hobson, lovely stuff. Martin, I'm looking forward to seeing Martin in the next season because he's really become confident and on song. Gaza always top five, no doubt about it. Doesn't miss out on a trick. Leading silver class man Ben Altria, I'm sure he's going to get bumped up to gold class. He is just too quick for silver class. He cleaned up the class, did a Ben Altria, and did a brilliant job there today. He's just gone from strength to strength through the season, and it all just came together. This car driver combination on this circuit, the Daytona track, uh, infield sections, he was very, very quick through the tighter sections, was Ben Altria, and coming up tops in the silver class. From Sean Skitter, that used his teammate for a little bit of tow for the better half of about an hour and 12 minutes until there was a bit of a spin there, unfortunately for Stefan Vessels. And, well, Sean Skitter just carried on from there. Nick Kliban's the only man in the top 10 to have done 3 pit stops. The rest all were in 2 pit stops. Nick Kliban's coming through in 8th. From Ian Manners, 3rd in the silver class. From the winner of the bronze class, Nigel Stock, ahead of James Smagersgale, Wesley Lewin, and I'm not sure what class Wesley Lewin's actually in. So let's say Nigel Stock wins the class. Wesley's then either second, or if he is silver, then he's not second in the bronze class. That means then that second will then go to Mark Sykes from David Favre, who's also coming along very strong in the second half of the season. Alan McCain, Alwyn Sykes, Stefan Vessels, it all went wrong for him today. It just didn't want to work out. And then Mr. Ulati that comes through at the back end of the pack. So we lost out on Phil McDougall. He was out for a while, came back in and then disappeared again. And Jake Pitt, unfortunately, not sure what happened to Jake Pitt, but it didn't work out for him today. Well, folks, that wraps up season number 5, round number 6 of GT3 Next Gen. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. I hope I get an opportunity to join up with you guys again, because I must say I have really enjoyed the time that I have spent with you guys. A big thanks to everybody that's involved in the background. A big thanks to all of our sponsors as well. And from my side, Gary Gaza, cheers guys. It's been great to be here with you.